everyone. Who's got the blues? Probably most of us at this point, based on all this sheltering at home. But if you fall in that category, you're in the right place, because this week on the Jazz at NMU Tune of the Week, we're going to be talking about the blues. Specifically, we're going to be looking at a tune by the hard bop trumpet player Blue Mitchell, entitled Blue Soul. This was the title track off an album that he recorded for the Riverside label in 1959. This tune is a 12-bar blues, which of course is one of the most common forms that jazz players use as a vehicle for improvisation. The key is B-flat in this case. Melodically, the tune has a 4-bar phrase that repeats, and then in the final 4 bars, what we often refer to as the turnaround, we get a little bit different melodic material. Harmonically, this tune is really pretty straightforward. A lot of times the blues can get pretty complicated with chord substitutions, but in this case, we pretty much have straight ahead dominant 7th chords and just really the 1, 4, and 5 chords to deal with. If you're interested in learning to improvise over a tune like this, here are a few suggestions. First of all, listen as much as you can. There's no substitute for sitting down and really taking the time to listen to people like Bessie Smith, Robert Johnson, Cannonball Adderley, Billie Holiday, you name it. These musicians can really teach you a lot about phrasing and rhythm in the blues. As far as material is concerned, the blues scale is always a great place to start. The great thing about the blues scale is that all the notes on the scale will work over the entire blues form. On the downside though, the sound of the blues scale can wear a little bit thin for the listener, so you shouldn't lean on it too heavily. Once you've developed a basic level of proficiency with the blues scale, it's worth it to spend some time really looking specifically at the chords involved in this progression. As I mentioned, in this case they're all dominant 7th chords, which means that there's a major triad in the bottom with a flat 7 on top. Go through and learn these in all 12 keys and practice arpeggiating up and down the chord, and then apply it specifically to this progression, moving through the entire progression, preferably with a background track of some sort. The next step would be to look at some specific scales that can be applied to each of the chords in this progression. Things, for example, like the Mixolydian scale, which will give you that flat 7th as you're improvising, or the dominant bebop scale, which allows you to incorporate some chromaticism into your lines. At the end of the day, however, I'd really encourage you to keep things relatively simple, especially in a riff-based blues tune like Blue Soul. Don't lose sight of the fact that the blues is in fact rooted in a vocal tradition, and as a result I think it makes a lot of sense to focus on creating memorable melodies, leaving space, utilizing repetition, and when possible, trying to manipulate the sound of your instrument to imitate what a blues singer might do. Hopefully all these ideas will help you express more emotion in your playing and tell a story, and that of course is what it's all about. So I hope you enjoy Blue Soul.